So hey guys, I wasn't gonna pre-film any more videos, but I decided to pre-film one video. So I got the volume 2, More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I know a lot of people didn't really care for me reading these kind of things, but I enjoy it, so I'm gonna read maybe one story or two. And I know there's a volume 3 as well. Scary Stories 3, More Tales to Chill Your Bones, but I don't think that one is it. I think it's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Volume 3. So let's just get into it. I'm very tired, so I'm probably not going to read as much in this one. Let's see, this one's, it's longer than I thought. Hoo-haws. These scary stories will take you on a strange and fearsome journey where darkness or fog or mist or the sound of a person screaming or a dog howling turns ordinary places into nightmarish places where nothing is what you expect. People have been telling scary stories for as long as anyone knows. From the first, they were tales of supernatural creatures that people feared would harm them. Boogeyman, monsters, demons, ghosts, and evil spirits lurking in the dark, waiting for a chance to strike. We still tell scary stories about creatures we fear, but not all of them are about boogeyman and demons. Quite a few are about living people. I'm tired. You'll meet some of them: a fat and jolly butcher, a friendly girl who plays a drum, a neighbor, and others who at best are not to be trusted. Scary stories of this kind often have a serious purpose. They may warn young people of dangers that await them, but when they set out in the world on their own. But for the most part, we tell scary stories to have fun. We turn out the lights, or we leave just a candle burning. Then we sit close together and tell the scary stories we know. Often these include some that have been passed down over hundreds of years. If a story is scary enough, your flesh begins to creep. You get a shivery, shaky, screaming feeling. You imagine hearing a same thing. You hold your breath as you wait to learn how it all ends. If something startling happens, everyone gasps or jumps or screams. Some people call these shivery, shaky, screaming feeling the heebie-jeebies or the screaming memes. The poet T.S. Eliot called them the hoo-haws. You better read the stories in this book while you are still feeling brave and before it gets dark. Then when the moon is up, tell them to your friends and relatives. You'll probably give them the hoo-haws, but they'll have fun, and so will you. Princeton, New Jersey, Alvin Schwartz. So this is, that was just like the beginning of the chapter or whatever. I don't really have that much of a voice, so I'm going to see how much I can get through. When she saw him, she screamed and ran. This chapter is filled with ghost stories. In one, a man has just become a ghost but doesn't know it yet. In another, a pirate ship and crew return from a watery grave, and there are other frightful events. Let me see how long this one is. Oh, it's not very long. So, there's a picture. Something was wrong. One morning, John Sullivan found himself walking along a street downtown. I'm sorry, guys. My nose is stopped up too. He could not explain what he was doing there, or how he got there, or when he had been earlier. I'm sorry. He didn't even know what time it was. He saw a woman walking towards him and stopped her. "I'm afraid I forgot my watch," he said and smiled. "Can you tell me the time?" When she saw him, she screamed and ran. Then John Sullivan noticed that other people were afraid of him. When they saw him coming, they flattened themselves against a building or ran across the street to stay out of his way. There must be something wrong with me, John Sullivan thought. I better go home. He hailed a taxi, but the driver took one look at him and sped away. John Sullivan did not understand what was going on, and it scared him. Maybe somebody at home can come and get me, he thought. He found a telephone and called his wife. but a voice he did not recognize answered. "Is Miss Sullivan there?" he asked. "No, she's at a funeral." "No, she's at a funeral," the voice said. "Mr. Sullivan was killed yesterday in an accident downtown." I'm going to try one more story, but let me just make comments on that. That is extremely sad. There are ghosts that don't know that they're dead, so they stay in this world, or they have unfinished business, so they, stay in this world. So I'm going to go to the next story, but this is going to be the last one for now. I'm going to be filming a lot of these videos in a little bit. Fred and Jan went to the same high school, but they met for the first time at the Christmas dance. Fred had come by himself, and so had Jean or Jeannie. I'm not sure. Soon Fred decided that Jeanne, I think it's Jeanne, was one of the nicest girls he had ever met. They danced together most of the evening. At 11 o'clock, Jeanne said, "I have to leave now. Can you give me a ride?" "Sure," he said. "I've got to go home too." "I accidentally drove my car into a tree on my way over here," Jeanne said. "I guess I wasn't paying attention." Fred drove her to the head of Brady Road. It was in a neighborhood he didn't know very well. Why don't you drop me off here?" Jeanne said. "The road up ahead is in really bad condition. I can walk from here." Fred stopped the car and held out some tinsel. "Have some," he said. "I got it at the dance." "Thank you," she said. "I'll put it in my hair," and she did. "Would you like to go out sometime to a movie or something?" Fred asked. "That would be fun," Jeanne said. After Fred drove off, he realized that he didn't know Jeanne's phone number. Didn't know Jeanne's last name or her phone number. "I'll go back," he thought. "The road can't be that bad." He drove slowly down Brady Road through thick woods, but there wasn't a sign of Jeanne. As he came around a curve, he saw the wreckage of a car ahead. It had crashed into a tree and had caught fire. Smoke was still rising from it. As Fred made his way to the car, he could see someone trapped inside, crushed against the steering column. It was Jeanne. In her hair was the Christmas. I can't talk. Was Jeanne. In her hair was the Christmas tinsel he had given her. And that's the picture. I should have saved that for Christmas, but I didn't know it was talking about Christmas. So the next one we'll be reading is One Sunday Morning in the next video, because I do like reading these books. And I also have this one that I want to read, but this one's like a little bit longer. It's like a lot longer. But maybe when I get a voice again, like a bit of stronger voice or whatever, I can read this to you guys. But anyway, I'm gonna go. It's really, really early in the morning when I'm filming this, so I'm gonna go to bed. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.